All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into a truly dark chapter in American crime today.
Ooh, yeah.
The terrifying reign of Richard
The
Ramirez,
Night Stalker.
the Night Stalker.
Yeah, chills, literal
But
chills.
imagine Los Angeles, San Francisco in the mid-1980s. As night fell, this shadow descends, and no one feels safe
Oh, no.
in their own homes.
Nope.
And our guide for this deep dive is Philip Carlo's book, The Night Stalker, The Life and Crimes of Richard Ramirez.
Great book.
A chilling look not only at what Ramirez did, but also tries to get into the why, the how,
Right.
trying to
The
understand
psychology of it.
yeah, the psychology of a serial killer.
It's a haunting reminder,
Right,
you know,
right, yeah.
that sometimes the most monstrous acts are committed by people with very human beginnings.
And Carlo takes us back to Ramirez's childhood, El Paso, Texas.
Uh-huh.
Not a happy home.
Right.
And those seeds of darkness, they were already there.
Oh, yeah, and Carlo really highlights the impact of early exposure to violence on Ramirez. I mean, his cousin, Miguel, a Vietnam vet. Yeah, sharing graphic photos, war stories, almost romanticizing the brutality of it all.
So like a twisted mentorship.
Yeah, and, this wasn't just casual conversation. This
Yeah.
was a young boy absorbing, twisted lessons about power and suffering.
And then you add in a chaotic, troubled family life.
Oh, yeah.
It paints a really disturbing picture
Definitely.
of the environment that shaped him.
Absolutely.
And of course, this in no way excuses his actions,
No, of course not.
but it does offer some insight, some context.
Yeah, definitely. Understanding his background is
Yeah.
crucial to understanding how he became capable of such horror.
And the crimes themselves.
Oh,
Stuff of nightmares,
absolutely.
the randomness, the brutality.
Paralyzing fear,
Yeah.
because it felt like anyone could be next.
There was no pattern, no type that he targeted.
No,
His victims, young, old, men, women, different races,
right.
from all walks of life, and scattered across a huge area. We're
Yeah.
talking brutal attacks, sexual assaults, murders.
Yeah,
Often with an added layer of cruelty that went beyond just the act itself.
right. As if he
Yeah.
derived pleasure from the suffering he inflicted.
And then there's the element that really pushed him
Oh,
from
yeah.
the standard criminal
Into the realm of, the boogeyman.
boogeyman
That hurts.
sadism, chills down everyone's spine.
Yeah.
He wasn't just committing these awful crimes, he was invoking Satan's name during the
Oh,
attacks,
great.
leaving pentagrams at crime scenes. It's like he wanted to be seen as something more than human, something
It's demonic.
demonic. Yeah.
And this wasn't simply about religious belief.
Right.
This was about terror. By invoking Satan, Ramirez was tapping into a primal fear,
Oh, yeah.
of the unknown, of evil beyond human comprehension.
It just amplified the horror,
It did.
making him seem even more unpredictable, even more dangerous. Did this element add to your own, feelings about the case, even now, all these years later?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely played into the media frenzy, turning him into this almost mythical figure. And what's crazy is he managed to evade capture for over a year.
A year.
Can you imagine the fear?
I mean, the police are baffled, the public is terrified, and the Night Stalker is just out there, lurking in the shadows.
It was the randomness, the lack of pattern, right? No clear motive beyond the sadistic pleasure he seemed to take.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
But finally, a break. A surviving victim provides a description and boom, Ramirez's fingerprints are matched to a previous crime.
That must have been a huge relief.
Oh, for sure. But then comes the trial. Overwhelming evidence against him, yet
No remorse.
none, no apology, nothing.
It's chilling.
It is. He seemed to almost revel in the attention, taking pride in the fear he'd caused. The media, of course, it was a circus.
Oh, yeah?
And disturbingly, he attracted a following.
What?
People writing him letters, attending his hearings, drawn to the darkness, the notoriety.
It's a chilling example
It is.
of how the media can sometimes turn criminals into these, anti-heroes, creating a spectacle out of tragedy.
For sure.
Why are we so drawn to true crime, to these dark stories? Is it confronting our fears? A way of understanding the darkness that exists in the world?
It's a complex question.
It is.
It challenges us to examine our own relationship with evil, with violence.
Do you think maybe by trying to understand figures like Ramirez, it helps us prevent future tragedies?
Maybe. Or maybe we're just feeding a morbid curiosity.
These are the questions that really linger.
I do?
Long after we close the book on this case.
For sure.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker,
Right.
remains one of the most terrifying figures in criminal history. And his story, it's a chilling reminder that the line between good and evil can be very thin. And that capacity for violence It exists in places we might never expect.
And it leaves us with one final unsettling question.
Yeah.
Could someone like Ramirez, given his background, all those forces that shaped him, could he have been helped?
Wow.
Or was his path, as horrifying as it was, inevitable?
It's a question without easy answers for sure, but one that forces us to confront the darkness within ourselves in the world around us. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the dark world of Richard Ramirez.